Okay, so it's 3:30, and I think we got up like 2:30 or 2:40 or something. The dogs have already eaten a whole meal. Oh, God. I think they've already been out twice, eating a meal. Sylvia's still being whiny. She's had some medicine, so she'll probably snore. So I'll try and talk over her. The Today's grocery store day. So excited. I love going to get groceries. And having new food, and especially like I haven't had any juice, and I have been really craving juice. And it made me think about, I think you have to have a lot of vitamin C too to absorb copper. I think I just heard that. And it's funny how much I start craving. I start craving juice all the time. I never did that before. Um, it's just weird because it's the same thing. It's like I would never drink juice when before, because I always thought, oh, it's so fattening. I'll just get fat. It's just so weird of all these things that I do now. Like that honey is almost gone. I'm gonna have to go get some more today. And all these things that I thought, oh, this makes you so fat. This makes you so fat. So I wouldn't do it. I'm taking sweet and low, not drinking juice, and I was fatter then. So I don't know. I don't know. This world is just, it's so much different, because I feel like it all goes together also with your perspective, which is based on your level of how you look at things, which advances as you do like healing and stuff. So it's it like all goes together. So it's not just one thing. It's like when you start loving yourself and doing things, eating things you enjoy, loving, it's like it doesn't affect you the same way. But also, I mean, I think I'm pretty active. I mean, I'm pretty active. And so I think that is important, though. I think that's a healthy lifestyle. I think that's when you start putting together the pieces of a healthy lifestyle. You find, like, where you're good, and then you just keep on going like that. So then you don't have all these fluctuations and stuff. But I know, like, the weight thing is, it's a thing about, protection. It's a way to insulate yourself from the rest of the world. And it's a barrier that's created when people feel bad about themselves and stuff. So they're trying to block out other people, and then they start gaining weight, and then it'll start affecting them and their health and stuff. And so then it becomes like a prison, because then you still have the things that create pain in you, that so it's like, once you heal your pain, once you start healing your pain and suffering, your old trauma, the way it just starts falling off. So it's like you start healing yourself, it just starts falling off. And then you start, getting yourself at a level of, like, because you need to exercise every day. And I'm like, not like the gym exercise. I mean, just being active in your day, going out and walking and picking things up. Picking things up is important, because it gives you a whole movement and a resistance. And so, just being active, it is is a healthy lifestyle. It's which I'm big on the eating when the sun is coming up, and then as the sun's going down, you're tapered off. If you have a snack or something, but as the sun's coming up, I think it's our natural cycle. And I think that they've got a lot of people, like, go work all day, come home, eat a big dinner, and then have a dessert, and then go to bed. And it's like, it's the opposite of the cycle, and that is also affecting people, I think. So I just think a lot of things, once balance is brought back onto the earth, so many things are going to just, well, I don't know if it's not like it will just do it itself. It's like it's creating yeah, because everything is about a free will and stuff, and people just don't realize how much they really are choosing. But it is like, but everything is being revealed, so you have choices. And so you can choose a healthy lifestyle, or you can choose to let your health deteriorate. And the people who don't choose the healthy lifestyle are going to see a descend. Their health is going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. But it's not as a punishment, it's the universe. It's the energy trying to promote them to go in another direction. But some people will just carry it all the way to off the cliff, you know, and not, and there's a lot of different things. You can't just say, well, it's one thing, because some of it's a dependency on medical, it's dependency on, you know, getting attention because you're sick. There's all sorts of things that people have to work through. So it's not like you can, you know, you can try and figure it out. Like, sometimes I think that's fun, trying to understand, like, what's going on there? What's the dynamic? I wonder what happened before. I wonder what, you know, like, but, you know, don't get into the point of, like, judgment. Like, well, they need to just do this. They did this, they wouldn't even have that problem. Like, you can't do that, because I don't know, as far as what I understand, if you get like that, then you're going to come back and experience it, because you obviously have a tainted perspective. You don't have an open mind, you know, to let things be what they are, and that person's playing that out. It's not, it's like, it's not really your business, kind of. So it's, so anyways, I don't know. Oh yeah, because the juice, I'm getting excited to go to the store, because I was thinking, oh man, when I get those, because I'll get some kombuchas, and it's all based on like what they have on sale, because it's a grocery outlet. And so sometimes it doesn't always have the same things. And so whatever on the juice, I may get some grapefruit juice too. I really like grapefruit juice. But the, and I don't know why, I feel like it looks more like real grapefruit juice than orange juice. Orange juice, I like orange juice, but man, I don't know what they do to it to make it look like that. I don't think it's healthy. It's like, I think they take all the most rotten oranges and just squash them all and put them through some machine. But then they put stuff in it, because they can't let there be healthy things, and the rind would have healthy things. The peel even would have healthy things. So I don't know, and it would make the juice bitter. But I don't know what they do. But it doesn't look anything like when you juice an orange. Nothing. So it's so much more. The juice is so much more just clear. It looks more like Tang when you juice an orange than the orange juice that they sell us. So anyways, I have a bunch of things that are on my mind. So when my one granddaughter is having issues again, I mean, she probably has been having them, you know, ever since her dad died, you know, and probably before that, because he was struggling with addiction. And so she wasn't getting to see him and stuff. So, you know, she's in, you know, I mean, that's just right after divorce. And, you know, sometimes divorces for kids, that falls apart. Their whole life falls apart because their parents got divorced and stuff, like but all these things that happen, they're all our obstacles. They're all our challenges. That's what we came in for. And so, you know, I mean, she's got a lot. I had a lot when I was a kid too, and I know it's hard. It's a burden. You know, you do feel so alone, and it's so hard. And we just are in this society, especially this age of kids. The kids that grew up on technology, it fucked them up, man. It made it to where it is like they need this stimuli all the time, and they can't. It's like they don't know how to not have stimuli. Like their brains were stimulated nonstop, and so when it's not being stimulated, it's very uncomfortable. And then because they became so engulfed in the machine, that they stopped being able to communicate comfortably. Like they're not good with communication. They're not good with dealing with their own emotions, because they were able to distract from it all the time. Like they have a lot of serious healing and growth to go through, just like an alcoholic or a drug addict or something. And because the distraction, the addiction, like it's all kind of the same kind of things. And so they've got to go through it. Right now, it's not a recognized thing. But once people start really recognizing and stuff and quit judging the kids and really start seeing what happened in our society, and but even though we were sold things, there was still a lot of people jumped onto it. But a lot of people jumped onto it because they really did think, oh, this is gonna make my kid so smart, my kid's gonna be a genius. And not thinking about the development and the emotional thing. And then like this girl, I don't know if I already said this. No, I think I was telling my mom, because I saw this girl. She's like either a dental assistant or dental hygienist. She works at a dentist's office, and she was talking to some of the other people. And so she had said to somebody like, if you didn't have to work, what would you do? And the person was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, well, if you didn't have to work, like if there was no reason to work, what would you do with your day? What would you do with your life? And they were like, I don't know. There wouldn't be anything to do. Like, it would be boring. Like, I would want to just go to work. And then, so she asked another girl, and the other girl said, well, what do you mean? Like, I would have to stay home with my kids or something? And like, it was like, she was just like, well, no, I mean, if you just didn't have to work, like, you could do more things, like, with your kids or whatever, but what would you want to do? And the lady was the same thing. Like, I don't know. We wouldn't have any money. We wouldn't be able to do anything. I don't know. I'd rather just go to work. Why would I want to just sit around with my kids? And you can see, like, the problem that has been created in our, like, I can see how there became a wedge in it, and it's like they just opened it up and made it bigger and bigger and bigger. But, like, all these parents that don't really want to be parents, it's like, what are you talking about? I just want to be a breadwinner. I don't want to go home and deal with those things. So they go to school to learn. And that's why the schools were able to take advantage, and the schools are just causing more problems with kids. And it's not like every teacher is a monster or something, but it's the same thing with the doctors, the teachers, the lawyers. They're all being misguided in their education and their understanding. Even psychologists, like, they're not really helping kids. And then the whole thing of just, well, we'll just put a Band-Aid on it, and that's just going to make it worse and worse. And then they don't really help kids. They don't really, because you've got to really see what's really bothering you. Let's really talk about it. And since so much of the science has no God in it, then they don't ever give them any, reason for being here, any purpose, it's, and that is so important. The kids need to develop themselves to give themselves self-esteem. They need to see what they're good at. They need to feel good about themselves. They need to be able to form friend groups. So they need to be able to communicate and be able to problem solve, not be, all the kids fight all the time and don't get along. Kids are like having adult problems or something, and they don't know how to deal with them. And so, and then we've got this whole movement in the schools of just, I don't know. It's like, do you get bonuses if you get how many kids you get to transition in your class or something? Oh, she's got 3. God, she gets a trip to Hawaii. Like, I don't know. It's so insane that this move, and how many kids now are adults now are detransitioning or just going into a place of peace in their existence and stuff, and realizing all the manipulation that they went through, and why they can't just let kids be kids, why they can't be feminine boys and masculine girls. What are they trying to create? Some kind of weird blue-eyed society of perfect people or something? Like, the whole thing is weird. But there's an agenda. Like, I can still see, like, there's an agenda, and it is, I know that has, one factor is the dependency on medication at that point, and the inability to conceive. Everything needs to be done in the labs and stuff. So they, that's a big thing for them, those things. So, anyways, yeah, the schools to me just are a place where kids go to feel beat down. I don't know how much they're really learning. They're sitting there saying kids are graduating, they can't even read fifth grade level. They don't know how to do this. They don't know how to do that. They definitely don't know how to. I mean, there's some kids that do, but not. It's not the general thing. You know, it's school has done more harm at this point than I think it's done good. And I think back when I was in school, it was much better. But like we got to have music. We got taught to cook. We got taught to sew. We got taught to do woodwork. We got taught to make things. We had a lot of art, music, singing. Like it was way different. Like, learning how to dance for performances. Like we did all sorts of things. So it wasn't anything like what they do now. And now how all these girls feel like that they have to be more grown up than they are. All these girls wearing so much makeup, and I was hearing all these parents talking about like how these girls are dressing at school and stuff, and their butt cheeks hanging out and stuff. Man, back in the day, you had to have like your skirt had to be a certain length, or you know you couldn't wear tank tops and stuff. So I don't know. Now I guess you can go with short skirts with your butt hanging out and G-strings on. And that Olivia Wilde dress, it's like, oh my God, girl, you got all this money, you are already famous, and then you're gonna go out and just exploit yourself like that, just expose your body. And just like it just was, the dress was so tacky. I mean, even if she was really like, if it's some vintage robe thing that she was trying to wear, it's like, wear a goddamn slip under it. Why are you just wearing G-string underwear? Like, come on. Like, you work out, so what? So does about a zillion people. Like, big fucking deal. You know, I don't know. I swear to God, people are so driven by their ego that they just don't even make sense. There's so many people out there right now that are just like, what? 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 So weird. One thing I had forgotten to say about this the other day was I had seen this guy's video, and he was let me think of it, because now, so it was a guy telling another guy's story. I think it was. I don't think he was telling his own story, but so it was his friend, I think, and he had gotten out of prison, and so he was trying to find a job, and so he went on a fishing crew. And on this fishing crew, it was they went out and they got really hard to find fish. You really what rich people pay for. And so he said they went out and they just got some regular stuff and everything. But this one night, then they said, oh, everybody get out here, you know, we got to catch and all this stuff. So they go out there. I'm pretty sure it was like 12:30 or 2:30 in the morning or something. And I don't remember. I mean, I'd have to find the video if somebody wants to see it. But he said that in the net was a being. It was half fish and half looked human, only it was not attractive. Like, yeah, these mermaid beings. If you go and you just look up about people who have had interactions with these beings in the water, they're not like beautiful. They're it's kind of scary looking. And there's so many stories about the mermaids out right now. And so and see, all that is disclosure. And some of the stories I had heard, like this one where a ship, it was a bunch of sailors or something, and their ship started to sink, so they all had to get onto the little raft thing. And so they were on the raft thing, and all these half fish humanoid things started attacking them and pulling them overboard and stuff and killing them. And then Corey Good said that when he went into, because he would be used for communication, for telepathy at meetings, when they would have a bunch of different beings, he was used as a communicator. That's what I feel like that they would have done to me. And so I'm glad they didn't find, you know, well, what's meant to be is meant to be. Like if I was meant to do that, then I would have been found and taken and done that too. But anyway, so he was um, communicate. He was there as a translator, like a telepathy translator kind of thing. And because our government is a bunch of doofuses, they don't know how to work on their own telepathy. They need to rely on somebody else who has a more natural ability towards it. And so, which to me, telepathy is being able to break down what's going on in your mind, kind of, to start deciphering your mind and start communicating, and you'll start figuring it out. But so, Corey Hood said that the aquatic beings, they had to come in a tank and stuff, and they put out so much, like they hate us. They hate us. But look at like what we do to the oceans, how we treat things. We're just so like it's like how I see it is like people going camping and then just getting up and leaving all their garbage. It's like you gotta pack in what you, it's like pack out what you pack in or something like that. Everything you bring, you gotta put it back to the state it was. You don't leave it for someone else. That's bad energy. That's bad karma. That's like not following universal law. Is who you leaving it for? The fairies to come clean up? Is somebody else has got to clean up your mess? And that's not how the universe works. It's like what you do comes back to you. So anyways, but that's how we treat the oceans and the water and stuff. We don't treat them with respect, like they give something to us. But also we've been misled by the corporations who have been draining this world for a lot of the vamps or the leaders of this fucking drain pipe. So so anyways, but we still have a responsibility because you still have your own free will. When you leave garbage laying on the ground for someone else to pick up, you got to feel something, so it's up to the persons, all of us, to wake up and start thinking for ourselves and seeing like, yeah, well, if I leave this, who's supposed to, who am I expecting to come clean it up? My mom? I could call her, hey, I left a bunch of mess at the park. Can you run up there and clean it up for me? So it's, we've got to be responsible adults and care about our planet and taking care of it. And so the aquatic relationship is bad, and especially with these half humanoid kind of, these are other beings. So it's not like we have half fish people, even though there could be, a DNA factor there too, because, of what they have done in the labs to make these half people, half not things. So, all these merging of these different things. So there could be some of that, or they could have, these are natural beings, and then they've tried to copy that. But anyways, there's these people that live in the ocean, but they're more aquatic. Like, they're not like our image of a mermaid, but that was kind of to tell us like there's thinking beings down there in the ocean. And so anyways, so this guy's out on this ship and it's middle of the night, and they say they've caught something. And so he said that he goes out there and then he sees what it is, and it's half fish, half person. But he said that not attractive, they're kind of scary looking, but he said it was obviously trying to communicate, and it was making these words or sounds or something that he said he couldn't understand what it was saying, but he said he knew it was begging for its life. And he was just like, oh, I mean, he was like freaking out. And he said it was horrible. And then they went and took it to, I'm pretty sure he said they went and took it to the dock, and there's all these rich people, and they sat there, and I thought when he was saying it that they ate it alive. So I don't know, I'd have to go listen to it again. But it's this really expensive, delicacy to these rich people, just like little dark kids, like that is too. Like, these people are so goddamn fucking weird. They're not goddamn human. They're not. I mean, some of these rich people are disturbed, but I don't know that they're not all fucking shapeshifters. Who was it the other day? I heard somebody talking about, oh, yeah, I heard one of those girls from the island, and now she's a woman, but she was a little kid back then, and she said they weren't allowed to drink, they weren't allowed to do drugs or anything like that. It was forbidden. And she said she smoked cigarettes, and she'd have to go hide out, far away from the house to smoke cigarettes because nothing was allowed like that. And so they weren't allowed to drink, they weren't allowed to do drugs or anything. And so she said that she was in there with Jeffrey. And when he finished, she said when he finishes, he like changes. And she said that the room was dark, but she was positive what she saw. And it sounded like he turned in, to his real form, probably. If he's a shapeshifter, probably at that moment he get all his shape or something. I don't know. She was just saying, maybe I was drugged and I didn't know it or something, but this really happened. I saw this. And he turned and he had big horns. She said it kind of like a devil looking guy, but scaly skin, sound like a reptilian shapeshifter. So, anyways, some of these people who are even like movie directors or whatever, some movie stars are, shapeshifters. They're not really what we think they are. They're not like humans or whatever. And there's lots of them who have been seen by people, and then people say that person was shapeshifting, and then they'll get blocked because that was the whole thing about that with Jay-Z, and all these people saw, and then they took down they shut down Twitter when all of the people were talking about it. They shut Twitter all the way down so people couldn't, and then started removing videos and stuff. So it's kind of weird. The whole thing's kind of weird. To what degree they'll go to hide the truth from us. And so anyways, in this guy's story, so he was super disturbed, and it seems like he didn't want to go on any more of those. And I don't remember if he did go on another one or not, but if he did, they caught another one. I think they said they did go for a couple days, and then they went, or maybe he went and then they didn't catch anything and he was relieved, but then they did catch a thing again, and it was the same kind of thing. Or maybe they even caught two. I don't remember the whole thing. But so now there's an added story to it. And so everybody, I guess, was talking about that video, which I didn't know. I had seen it, and I don't know, a week and a half ago or something, and then I forgot about it. And so, but, all this stuff is, people are like, oh my God, there's alien, oh my God, there's this. Like, yes, all that stuff is real. And so, anyways, but so there's this other story now that this girl told, because the part that is disturbing is these fucking rich motherfuckers. God, these people are fucking weird. You know what? There's a thing to a delicacy that is just, it's horrible, and it's one is in the Orient somewhere. I'm not sure if it's in everywhere or whatever, but it's one of those little monkeys, and it's not like one of those little tiny ones. It's like one that has a head, it's like a child-sized head, and they eat its brains while it's alive. They trap it when just its head is on the table, and then they cut around, and then they take off like a lid, and while the monkey's screaming and shit, and then they just sit and eat their brains while it's alive. That is who even comes up with this shit, man? Who thinks, who look at, well, I'm gonna allow it to be able to try this. It's like, god damn. What in the fuck, man? My mind goes to happy places. Not like, what if we did this? It's like fucking creepy down here. So, anyways, this news story that goes, so this girl said her friend And so it's another friend, and she said that he was getting popular on social media or something. And I don't, she said he even couldn't understand how he got invited to this party. But so he was getting popular on social media and I don't know, going to events or whatever was going on. And so one day he gets this invitation in the mail and it was real pretty. It was like this ivory thing and inviting this thing. And he thought, wow, how did I get invited to this? And it sounded like, really elite kind of delicacies would be served and stuff. And so he was like, man, this seems like something I don't want to pass up. So he goes to it. At the door, they had to sign an NDA and then they had to leave their cell phone. And so he goes in and he said it was like 25 people there. And it was like a producer or something. It was a famous movie star. She was real famous at the time that this happened. And but he didn't say who. It was just a girl though. And then he said like some politicians. He said that the party seemed like while he was standing there, he was thinking like, what the hell am I doing here? These people are way out of my league. And so he, just like went with the thing. So then they all went in and sat down at the table, and he said the serving thing on the table was really weird. It was really big, and so he's thinking, is it some kind of shark or something? Because it was covered. And so, and then there's another dish or something in front of him. And so then the host stands up and thanks them all for coming and asks the servers to come over and start serving. And so they lift the thing off, and he said he was like in shock because it was a mermaid. It was like a half person, half fish, and they're all like, he said it was like a gasp when it happened, but when it came up, it was like, and then, but the people were all excited. And he said he kept thinking, this is a joke. They've made something that looks like this. This isn't real. No way could this be real. And so they all get all excited, and they're all the servers, because there's like 4 servers or something, and they're cutting it. And he said that the smell was like this woodsy floral smell that he'd never smelled anything like it before. So they cut it and they're serving it, and all these people are eating it like it's the best thing in the whole wide world. And he's just getting totally grossed out. And he's just like, what are you guys doing? What is this? And then they all laugh at him. And he's like, I'm not staying here. Like, this is crazy. And so he starts leaving, and he starts trying to make his way to the door, and he comes upon the kitchen door crack open, and he goes and he looks in and he sees tanks. He said there was more in there, that there was he said that some of them, they were quite clear that they knew that they were captured and facing death. And he said that they looked more, scared or panicky or whatever. He said you could tell. But then there was others that seemed like they were just like kind of loopy or something, like they didn't know what was going on. And then the host walks up behind him and says, oh, I see you found the pantry. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I haven't even been eating fish or any of that kind of stuff. It's like, I just don't want to eat another being. And, but half human, half, and people are just be like, everybody is just out to conquer. I heard this story. This was a different podcast. This guy does these Appalachian scary stories, or not even all just Appalachian, but just all these scary stories, the folklore or whatever. And so this one happened to be in Mount Rainier. And so Mount Rainier is the mount, well, it's really beautiful. And I went down through it when I went down to California, but it's one of the passes. And so you have to pass it to go down, but not going across. So it's not when I had to go. Snoqualmie or Mount Stevens was the ones I'd have to cross to come across here. But going down, go down Mount Rainier, and it was like intense, man. I couldn't believe it was like so steep a drop. Like all these drops are so steep, and like going on cliffs and shit. And anyway, so this story takes place there in Mount Rainier. And so this girl, she was having her birthday or something, and so she wanted everybody to go up and go camping. And so they all went up there and they built this fire. We're all sitting around this campfire telling scary stories. And this one girl starts telling a scary story that her grandma told her. And her grandma had told her about this tribe of uh, Indian, Native American, or I don't know what to call it, a tribe of people. And they, everything was going wrong and they were starving. And so they got worse and worse and worse, and they were all starving and dying and becoming really decrepit. Their teeth were breaking, their fingernail, they were just getting really sickly. They were just like skin and bones and just all tattered, like they were kind of scary looking. And it's called like I can't remember what it's called, but the stick man or something. And so anyways, they were starving, and they found this other tribe, and so they went and conquered that tribe, and they ate all the people. So they but they still stayed all wretched, like, I don't know, half human or something, half dead zombie people. And so anyways, and then they continue to be up in the woods or whatever. And so this one kid named Caleb, he starts whistling, and the girl who's telling the story, Selena or Serene or something like that, Serena, she gets upset. Like, what are you whistling? You're not supposed to whistle in the woods. You call them into you. And he's like laughing at her. Oh my God, you believe in all that stuff. You're so stupid, blah, blah, blah. And so then they decide that they're going to play hide and seek. Like, man, go play hide and seek in the woods, and they're just like, fuck that. So they all go out and they're hiding. She's got this good hiding place, and so she's sitting there hiding, and then all of a sudden she hears whistling, and then she sees it's Caleb, and they're making fun of her again. And she's like, sitting there telling him, like, you shouldn't be doing that. You're not supposed to be whistling in the forest. And as she's talking to him, she sees a guy behind him that is long, stringy black hair, skin and bones, teeth broken, just like what she had described. And he grabs Caleb and takes off. And so she starts following, thinking, she's got to go save Caleb. And she starts following him, and then gets up into the gets up further into the woods or whatever, and the guy stops and just starts chowing down on Caleb. And then she's just scared and just standing there, and then he runs over and starts sniffing her after he finishes eating. I don't know how long the hell did it take to eat Caleb. Like, it's got to be a made-up story. But these stories are like, this shit is really out there though. So and runs over and starts sniffing her, and then runs off. And I don't know, she made it back. I don't know what, even if these stories were to make it to the news or something, they don't make it on the news. They would make it to the Inquirer or something. We used to have the Inquirer and the Star. You could go look at that, and then you could see, like, oh, this stuff's really going on. And they'd always try and market it as like, oh, the crazy people who think these crazy things. But I always knew, like, this is real. So anyways, I don't know, but I know that there's all these other kind of beings and stuff all around us, and just like the giants and all this stuff has always been around us. And so it's like your own disconnect, to not know, like, when you're in certain places, you gotta take care because there's other beings around there. So I I don't know how, maybe when this shift goes, like, we're not going to have to be in fear of the woods, because maybe that the beings that hunt you in the woods aren't going to be there anymore because that's lower density and they can't move up. Because in this like new world that we're creating, it is more respect for one another, not eating each other, killing each other, and all that. And for Donald to say, not now, we're going to stick with time, the daylight savings time, because it's divided. Half the people want it one way and half the people want it the other way. I think more the message is just like it's the holding something up, but making the point of you guys are too divided. You guys can't get along. You're too divided. To keep putting that out there and keep putting that out there, because no matter if the people, like the people who, like there's a group of people who are awake and they think, like the blue people are so idiotic and stuff. So, see, that's where the divide is. It isn't just like who's awake and who's not awake. There's people who are awake, but they are so hateful and judgmental towards each other. And so that's the part that has to break down. And that's the part that, like, when this group of people wake up and see the truth, so will those other people. They'll wake up and see, like, how divided and divisive and hateful they were being to the other ones. And so, because that only perpetuates the division. It's not making them want to come over to your side. Just keep, they just keep creating more distance. And, but that's what we have to close in on, especially when you think of us as a collective, like you think of us as a beach ball. Oh, because of all the colors and the vibration. Okay, so, and you think of us being a beach ball and stuff, then how effective are we if we aren't all together? You can't be anything if you're all apart. And so, and all the colors are all apart. So we have to come together to create a form that is like usable. And so that is the coming together in unity and creating the collective consciousness. But we are here as, as the teapot thing that I used to always say too, about the broken teapot. So it's like we come in with the feeling of being broken, but we are the ones who have to put it together. And then it's on the micro, macro, because as we put ourselves back together, then the collective goes back together. So it spreads out. So it just goes like what you do of fixing yourself just spreads through the community of the collective. So the beach ball just starts going together, the teapot starts going back together, and then we become cohesive and functional. Because right now we are, chaotic, and we are not put together at all. And I think that's what he's trying to point out. Guys are all just so divided. Want to do what you want to do, but well, how am I supposed to do it when half of you want this and half of you want that? And that was a thing too that I had heard in the tribes and stuff, like the tribes, like philosophy. If it's not good for all of us, it's not good for any of us. And so we have to come together as a group of unified minds of what really is good for us. And I would think it's going to end up being that more daylight in the evening rather than more, because to me, it doesn't seem like, it just seems like we just are in the dark all the time. And then in the other, I don't think it seems like it takes forever to get light in the morning. Yeah, I think it's just as dark in the morning now, so I don't even understand how this daylight savings works, because it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like you either get light or you get dark. Well, we barely get any light all day. And so, anyways, I think that we would end up going towards, we want it to be light at 9:30 at night, because we want to, be out enjoying our lives and living our lives. But but I think the push is to get us to, kind of all, you guys need to get along. You guys need to figure it out. I don't know. We're going to go have ice cream or we're going to go have hamburgers. You guys got to figure it out. And so, it's us. we have to come together. We have to figure things out in a mature, grown-up way. And because how can we build communities and stuff when we're just all so divisive? But people have to see the error of their own ways, the error of their own choices, in order to really complete this circuit. And so that's what we still have ahead is, they're all taking a stand and this is what they believe, and it's like locking in their thing, and then the lights come on and the answer is there, and then all of a sudden it's like a complete like an evolution of their mind. It's like this complete flipping in their mind of how they see things, which is going to make them see things very different. So anyways, there's all that whole thing has to still play out. And it's this week seems to really be dragging. But I feel like when something is dragging like this, that something bigger is coming again. So a big thing will come. It's just like this, I mean, the Zelensky thing, like that bone was chewed on they're still talking about that. Um, but it's all to expose all these crimes and stuff like that. Then, now it's the Dems at the speech thing, and how childish, like that just keeps being pointed out, like they are so childish, they're so childish. I don't know how anybody can support them or anything. And see, that's the part where people have to start coming into terms, like what they support and what they don't support, and look at it deeper. But you got to also remember that their media is feeding them a very different story, so they're not seeing the same things. And so however it plays out, it's going to continue to play out, because that's the ultimate goal of this whole thing, is everybody to see themselves, because that's what creates the change, is you changing yourself. But you have to see like this side of yourself that you want to change, because you see it and it's like, I can't believe I can't believe I did that, just like these kids, who have transitioned and stuff, to have to see this other side of themselves. It's like everything is about this, seeing this other side of yourself, and that's a big thing to, get manipulated or misled into, and to just keep going towards it. And then you are, stuck in, a foreign body, kind of, because you had your natural body, even if it felt like you weren't sure. But that's a part of the growing, and that's a part of your soul's development and stuff. It plays all these different parts. So yeah, some people are gonna feel super uncomfortable, like, this doesn't feel right. I feel weird. But it's like, you got to come to terms with, yeah, well, you're an orb in a suit, and so yeah, sometimes you're gonna feel odd. And it's not even a real physical suit. Remember too, it's just this hologram. It's just an image, but the image is so strong that it has like a life of its own. You can go get surgery on it and stuff. So but it's all the illusion that's fed into our mind of what we believe. That's where it gets so trippy. None of that stuff can be unless we believe it. And so this is like a reformation of your beliefs. It's, to see things more differently, all this stuff going on. But everything is about us coming together, us being able to get over our issues and to come together, because that's how we begin to create something new. Right now, it's just chaos of how people are being affected as things are falling apart. So many people are losing their homes, losing their jobs. Person after person after person are losing their jobs. And like that HOA fee going up to like $3,000 a week and stuff, like all this absurd shit, where people, are really caught up in the drama. But it really is just because it's got to go to such extremes to push us in a new direction, because we're holding on for dear life to what reality was. And so it's got to rip out of our hands. It's got to be ripped away from us, because we'll just hold on for dear life. But once people get further down, get more into this, they'll reach a point where they'll look back and they'll go like, oh my God, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I lost that job. I'm so glad I'm out of that marriage. I'm so glad that I've moved to this new place. There's going to be a big shift. Oh, you know what I was also thinking? Because this Canada America merge is supposedly happening, which all these different ones, I'm telling you, it's going to go into like a one nation place, and with different land masses or whatever. And I don't know if they'll call them like, but we'll go more into like North America. So I don't even know like if Mexico will end up joining in too. I don't know, but it could, and it could have something to do with how resources and trades, maybe the tariffs is just to get us to understand that we've been tariffed and we've been have this money stole. And now on the money calculator thing, there's a thing on the bottom that says something about, I don't know, the way I read it said how much discrepancy there is. So how much money is owed back to us. So when he's saying he's going to get us out of debt, and then you see this number, it's like $167 trillion, and it's going up fast. So then I was like, so even if they pay off the debt of 36 trillion, there's a lot of trillions left over. So that money would be going back to us. And so I don't know. But that's how I took it, because I'm pretty sure it was like 160. When I saw it, it was 167. So it's like when you go to the money calculator, whatever that thing is called, the debt calculator thing, and it's down on the bottom to the right, and it's a little gold. And some of the people who look at that all the time, because it was somebody who was like, what's this? Why is this on here now? So it's a new gold bar added to the bottom of the debt calculator, and it's going really fast. And it says something about the money discrepancy or something. It's going fast up. So anyways, that seems like good news. That's in a gold bar too. And then there's more going on with the silver, but it's and it's going up little by little. So now it's like gone up a couple dollars. And this person was so excited about that. They're so excited for it to go up to 100 or whatever. But I have heard it's going to go up to 600 to 1,000 per ounce. So it's going to have a huge jump. It's not going to be just like it's going to go up to $50 an ounce or something. You're going to double your money. It's supposed to go way up. And so anyways, you just don't, if you have silver and it starts going up, don't just jump on board. Just there's going to be more that's going to play out about resources. All this stuff is going to keep playing out. So but I was thinking, so if Canada is joining us, which I don't know how fast all this stuff is going to go, because I don't know, the whole thing seems to kind of move tediously slow. So this could play out over years. This whole 4 years could be all about this. Like, I don't know. But I was thinking, because it's like a joining of resources. So, all the resources that are in North America are equally all of ours. It's not just ours and just theirs, and we're going to charge each other because it's over our borders, under our flag, or whatever. We're going to take that shit down. But what I was thinking about with Canada is when you look at the projected map, the naval projected map, which is also the doomsday map, when you look at that, because I saw the Edgar Cayce map looks a little different, but that so the naval projected map, America is real messed up. It's, a lot of it is gone, which I don't even know, how much of Mexico is going to also be chunked out. But in Canada, I don't think it is a whole bunch. I was thinking Vancouver, over by Vancouver, I think it's going to be. And then there's lots of little islands around there that probably end up underwater too. But and the coast to go up, but a lot of mountains and stuff there, a lot of lakes, a lot of, it's really beautiful. And it's not supposed to be as cold because when the pole shifts, it's going to change the temperatures. So it's going to be more warmer in the cold places and colder in the warm places, supposedly. But then I've also heard that winter and coldness is created by their machines. So I don't know. some of the stuff you'll just gotta wait and see. But I want to live somewhere where it's like warmer and not extreme temperatures like what we've had. But I was thinking, so if this Canada merge and America merge and it becomes like North America or whatever, then the that all that land opens up to all of us. Like, we don't have to show papers to cross those borders anymore, either direction. So we can just move up there, because then it's not like, well, you're a Canadian citizen or American citizen. No, you're just North American. You get to live wherever you want. I was thinking, oh, that opens up a lot more land too. And so, I don't know. I was thinking, oh, it makes sense, if we're going to be more limited, but still, there's so much land. There's so much land for communities to build. It's, excuse me, don't want to get in your way. That um, it's not like we have a problem with space. I mean, they just want to contain us in a smaller space, but there's lots and lots of space. But I was like, man, that could be whole other places, though, that are going to be opening up to people who want to live in different places. But there's still going to be more disasters going and stuff. It doesn't mean like, oh, just move up real quick and move to Quebec or something and everything's going to be fine and dandy. Because I still see a lot of the bigger cities and stuff are going to fall apart, because it was like a lure to lure us out of smaller communities, to lure us into their gang or their game, their science lab habitat and stuff. So, um, we'll be spreading out more. Like, I don't know, and I don't know how long it'll take, because they're bringing in all this new industry and stuff, and you have all these people who are like, well, I just want to work, and there is a part to keeping the world going by doing your part. So, but I think it's going to keep shifting and shifting out of that kind of thing, and it will shift more onto AI doing a lot of stuff and us not doing it. But I just don't know, like, how long the transition and how long it will all take. So there can be, but I think that they're going to open places up too, to kind of pull people into other locations and stuff. So I don't think, like, I don't know, maybe like if they went back to Detroit and they bring back these car manufacturing, but it's kind of to heal those people from what happened to them when they took away all their jobs, because that was a big thing. There was a ton of people who relied on the automatic or the auto manufacturing industry. And when they all started going and moving over to different countries and stuff, all those people were losing their jobs. And those were jobs that people who, their dad worked there, their grandpa worked there, all of their uncle works there. Like some of these places in these places like miners or something, and they're all miners. Everybody in their family's a miner. And you go to these industry, all these people work, the whole place. You go to these fishing villages, and all of them do, like, everybody does the same kind of job. It's like what's available there or something. So so some of those, maybe they will go back to create like a healing or bring those people back up to believing in themselves and stuff. Because it's just a whole succession of a whole thing of problems that occur in a place when they take away all those jobs like that. I saw it in a movie, and it was a small like fishing village, and this place came and opened a corporation, so all these people went and got jobs there. And then when it closes down or whatever, and the people can't get jobs, and then they all start going and drinking more. They go home and beat their wives more. It's just like it just is a decline in and when a place is thriving and people feel good, it's a happy place. When people's lives are falling apart, it becomes a sad, dark place. And in the dark, more bad things happen. And so anyways, but there's people, like I've said, in different places as a group. Like, we're all in the places we are for a reason. It's not by accident. And so, and there's going to be different healing things and different things that happen to them as a group that, they could have gone through something else as a group a long time ago. Or there could be some people that you were in a group with. Like, it's a whole bunch of different things playing out. So, anyways, but I think that some of these places will be in areas to kind of draw us in to go towards different jobs, different ways, and then there will be more as we build up these communities. It will just branch out and more. It's like things are going to start happening more naturally, not so forced. It's going to start going more naturally. The people are going to be forced into going with the flow, and it's kind of like the hand of God. It's like this natural, universal way that the universe works, and it's more of getting in the groove with the energy of the universe and to keep on fighting it and trying to force it and trying to make things be what you want them to be and stuff like that. So it's just like this, but that comes also with the expansion, the awakening with the people, because the healing is just one part. The connecting to themselves is a big thing, and so that connecting with themselves kind of will promote the healing. It will kind of, like I said, it will kind of happen naturally instead of all this forced kind of trying to make this world. But it's like because we're leaving that kind of energy, and then you have all these people who, that's the only way they know, so they can carry that energy forward. But the universe is going to put a big old roadblock. You're not going to be able to carry toxic behaviors forward. There's a vibrational, it's not a vibrational match. So it's going to be held back. You can't move beyond your vibration. And then when you're held back by, like your own divisiveness, your own hatefulness, your own bitterness, and that will be something that will hold you back. And so people will be more forced into letting things go. Why are you holding on to that? How long are you going to stay mad about that? How you spend your whole life doing it? It's like you got to let go of things and move on, you know? So, anyways, that is going to keep going in that kind of direction. So, but I don't know how long it's going to take, but I know we're going to get more towards this, like, because even think about that too. Once they say Greenland's part of America, we don't have to have any passport or anything. We just zippity-dood all day right over there. Then you've got also the places of your heritage. So I should be able to go to Scotland and be a citizen due to my heritage. And Ukraine, I can go there due to my heritage. So no longer are we going to be blocked, and then the blocks are going to go more and more. Because I was thinking about this too. I was thinking I feel so positive that I saw a video of Vladimir saying, I don't know, 6 months or a year ago, any of us, it was during Joe's reign, I'm positive, and it was during shenanigans for sure. And he said, any American who wants to come over here and live, you're perfectly welcome. You're welcome to come over here. And I don't know if he said something about a kind of a citizenship kind of thing. Like you get a type of citizenship or something. But that's why I'm saying this is going to be opening. It's going to be more open to us, and it's not just like open borders, because all this talk and stuff is to get people to really think about what it is they want and how is it we want to live, and is that again, and plus this whole thing of human rights and stuff at the same time. So you start putting it together, like, well, that's against our human right. Well, that's against our human right. Like, so we start making these big shifts. And so, yeah, we're going to find ourselves under, one nation, one flag of, like, the earthlings. And then our land masses will be changing, but we're going to be a lot more available. So where we want to live is not going to be in a limitation. It's going to be so much more variety, so much more open to where we want to go and stuff. And man, I'm just one of those people, like these people who like don't know what they would do. It's like there's so much to do. I can't wait until we don't have any money problems and we get to just do whatever we want. But people have lost themselves. They don't know what they're interested in. They don't have any interest. They don't know how to do stuff and they don't have any desire to learn. Fuck, I want to learn how to do pottery. I want to learn how to do stained glass. I want to travel to Orient. I want to fucking see the pyramids. Like, there's so many things, so much experience. There's so much out there. Like, fuck, to me, the handicap, the thing that holds back is the restrictions and the money. Right now, even the ways to travel. Like, we need a technological expansion on that too. Like, we're gonna have so many things that are gonna just start shifting, going together in this such a more positive, productive way. Opening the world up to us, opening up different ways of travel to us, because there's also supposed to be this train or something that you get on it and you're there in 1 minute. It probably goes through portals and stuff, but it's like you go from New York to Japan in 1 minute or something. And supposedly these people, a certain group of people have been using these trains already, and supposedly they're down in the tunnels and stuff. And you got to remember, like, these tunnels and stuff are other civilizations that are buried beneath us, and that they are. What are you doing? Oh, hiccuping. It's like it keeps doing this thing. I keep thinking, how is he kicking me so rhythmically? Like he just, but he's hiccuping. Because he's a little baby. Little baby boy. And so, anyways, but there's more talk of the tunnels and what's below us, and more talk. There's way more people just paying attention, looking stuff up, sharing information. Like the disclosure is just happening, and it's all of us, getting more interested, trying to learn more and figure more things out, and sharing information. And but we do have a group of people who are very locked in on certain divisive things, but it's a part of what they're here to heal. So you just got to let it ride out. So much of everything, it's just got to ride out. And we are going to get to the part that's going to be hard, because I'm telling you, it's going to be hard when they start. I think there's a reason why they've probably put a lot of people, to the squad head before, it became a part of our daily thing, because I think it's going to become quite tedious, because there's so many people who've committed such grievous crimes and crimes against people, just not caring about other people and other souls, not having any respect. And goes around, comes around. There's the 7 laws of the universe or something. And those are not, made up laws by somebody. Those are actual, it's just the way it works. What goes around comes around. The energy you put out comes back to you. And so, anyways, that's just the way it works. So I'm so excited to go shopping today and to pay a bunch of my bills. I'm paying off the wood guy, I'm paying off like all these different little money that I have. So I've got get caught up on all of that. And then by the time of next month, which they even have said, that Social Security is supposed to go up too, is there'll be I was feeling there'll be way more money or whatever. And maybe that is what I will get as a camper, because I could park it out here and stay out here, but then I could go different places and stuff, because I really want to go and do things this summer. I want to go out. I don't want to just man, it's just ugh. I swear to God, this is gonna be the 3rd summer I've said this, and it just keeps being so much drama and chaos out there, so much danger and warring and hatefulness, and people who just are like zombie people. Like this guy was so weirded out, and he said he was at the grocery store, and he said, I just had the most 2 weirdest things I've ever seen. He said, I don't know what the fuck is going on. The first one was a guy pulls up to the register. He's in the lane next to him, and he pulls up to the register with like a full cart, and he has her ring up all the stuff. Comes to like $57 or something. So it's not real full, you know what I'm saying? But he has a bunch of stuff. And so then he's like, oh, well, that's too much. Could you take that off? And he does that over and over and over till he gets to one thing. One thing. His one thing left. And then he gets that. That's the only thing. And then he said it was the weirdest thing. He went through the whole thing of putting it all on and then taking it all off. And it just was like nothing. He wasn't acting weird or anything. And so he took his one item. And then the next guy, he said, he pulls up. So he's got a cart. He's pushing a cart. And in the cart, he has one Reese's Easter egg thing or something. One little Reese's Easter egg thing in this cart. So he says he takes it out of his cart. He gives it to the girl. She rings it up, and he wants a bag. He gets it put in the bag. He takes the bag. He puts it back in the cart. Like, this is something to fit in your pocket, buddy. So he puts the Easter egg in the bag, in the cart, and then starts pushing. This guy's leaving at the same time. And this guy, he said he had parked way at the back of the parking lot because it was so crowded. So he said that he didn't want to mess around with, waiting and parking. So he just parked at the back. So he said he starts walking, and he thinks this guy's going to park his cart and grab his bag. He said he doesn't. He just keeps pushing the cart, and he pushes the cart, and he happens to be parked right next to him. He pushes the cart all the way out there and gets the bag out of the cart, leaves the cart in front of his car, gets out of his car, or gets his bag, gets in his car, doesn't move the cart, and just runs into it, and then drives off. And the guy was like, that was the weirdest, those two things were the weirdest things. It's like, people are just doing weird stuff right now. And see if you can see the little monster man yesterday. He was very in his gremlin mood. Oh my God, his face turns into a monster sometimes. So, anyways, that's, kind of like, fuck, man, you want to go out and zombie world with a bunch of people, and I don't know, they probably still have the mass murderers out there because what it just happened to that little girl, 14-year-old girl, and then she was found on Valentine's, and it was after a month of being missing, and of course, a foster kid, and she's from an Apache tribe. They love those. They love the indigenous. They love these darker skinned people. They like melanin. That's their delicacy. And so but she was found all dismembered. And so this cutest little 14-year-old girl, too. And it's just like, there's just so much stuff going on still. It's like, man, I want it to start being more peaceful. But I don't think that's going to be coming for a long while. I don't know, but still, there should be something that's going to happen that's going to be, like, more safe. Surely we're not going to go this whole 4 years of this battle. I think we're just at this time of really trying to get everybody's attention. Then things are going to start flipping. Then it's going to start, people are going to start meeting their consequences. And that, but through all of that stuff is where we're going to have a whole nother level of anger is going to come across our collective. That is going to be a big part. There's going to be a lot of anger. It's going to and that's a stage of healing. And so it has to happen. You can't get through the stages without going through them. And so, they're going to go through the anger. And I don't know that everybody's going to be in danger and stuff all the time, but there's going to be people who will be. I think there's going to be people are going to be hunted down by people. There's going to be, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But there's going to be more tension than there is right now, I think. So these people who are angry and stuff right now are fearful. And when that flips, though, the people are going to be angry because they're going to know the truth. And they're going to be angry about the manipulation and the lies and And there will be a sense of how did I fall for this, and having to project out, well, you tricked me. But your most healing is going to be in, how did I fall for this? What do I need to heal inside of me so I never fall for something like this again? And so, anyways, hopefully you guys can hear me. I sometimes don't notice the snoring. And so, anyways, here's my tooth. See that? And just keep on going until it's just all white and built back up. So, anyways, just remember, there's all this stuff going on, and it's all about us finding the love for ourselves and finding the love for each other. And so, what we're doing here is learning how to love ourselves, learning how to love each other, and learning how to have the best day you can have, because it's totally up to you. So, anyways, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.